If your Facebook ads aren't working, you're likely just a few small tweaks away from getting them to perform exactly how you want to at a high enough return on ad spend consistently just by tweaking a few things. So in this video, I want to take you through very tactical and actionable steps to getting your paid advertising back on track and working in your favor. And how I'm going to do that in this video is I'm going to go into an account that I've been working on and show you how we turned it from a little bit inconsistent, not too profitable the past week, and flipped it around into so far back-to-back days of good profits. You can see here we've kind of turned this one around quite a bit, and profits are up. We've generated $1,200 in revenue, $300 in profit, and before that it was losing money. So before we took over, things were not going good. It was super inconsistent. Sure, there was a few things that were profitable, but just with a few simple changes yesterday, we've already seen a very big turnaround in results and performance, going from losing quite a bit of money to now being profitable. And these strategies can be applied whether you're trying to get more sales, just more leads, or more booked calls. The same things can be applied. So let's get right into it. Now, the first thing is actually a very easy one and something that not a lot of people talk about, but I think it's a very simple thing that you can always execute, and that's just pausing your ads. You don't have to pause them all day, but I recommend doing a soft relaunch where you pick out the ads that are the top performers, the most profitable. So in this case, I would pick whichever ones were the most profitable over the past 30-day period. I would note those down. I would keep an eye on those ones. I would turn actually everything off, including those, and I would duplicate those ads into a brand new campaign, a brand new fresh campaign at a much lower budget than what they were running. And I would adjust the budgets to the ones that were active at a much lower budget than they were running. I would definitely recommend starting them off anywhere between $20 to $50 a day, depending on what you're doing, and just soft relaunching them. It's basically turning them off for maybe an hour, letting everything breathe, reset the budgets, start a brand new campaign, reset those budgets to a lower amount, and then start them. A lot of people also, and what I've done as well, is we'll actually like to pause everything, set up all the new stuff, and then schedule them to start at 12 a.m. in the morning, 12 a.m. midnight. And that way, everything is basically starting from ground zero. It's starting with a fresh set of just a fresh day. And we've seen actually very big success in doing something that simple, just kind of regrounding everything and starting fresh. And it's also a good mental thing because then you're really coming at it with a fresh slate. So that's the first thing. Now, once you've done something like that, or once you're kind of ready to re-optimize everything, the next step is actually looking at what KPIs are actually affecting the poor performance. So I've talked about this sheet plenty of times on my channel. This sheet just goes over all the key performance indicators that you need to be looking at when you're running your ads. So you got to take a look and say, okay, what is actually causing the problem? Am I costing too much to get someone to the page, to get someone to click? Is my creative the problem? Is my copy the problem? Is the audience the problem, etc.? Now, once you look at that, one of the easiest things you can adjust, and this is the second thing, is to look at your ad creative and your ad copy. If you can just start with optimizing that, that is one of the easiest things that you can adjust. So for example, if I went into this ad here, so if I go into this ad, one of the first things that I would look at changing is this first line here, or technically these first three lines, which people can see here. This is called the lead-in, and it's one of the first things that people see. Most of the times people's eyes go right to the creative and then they go up or down. And this is a very easy lever that you can pull and that you can adjust to improve your marketing and get you out of a bad spot. Resetting initial conditions, and it gives a fresh look to the creative and to your ad. That's a very easy thing you can change. The next thing is actually taking that further and changing the headline itself. Same thing, it resets initial conditions. People are going to see a fresh new ad once you change that, and it helps a lot. And then finally, with all that tying together, changing your ad creative is the biggest and the easiest thing you can do to really get yourself out of a rut when it comes to your paid ads. If you just look at your paid advertising, if you're inside the ads manager and you just take a look at everything you've been running, looking at the creatives, I found is a very easy way from this view, is an easy way to see where you're going wrong. If you're running a lot of the same stuff and you're not trying something different, there's a problem. So I can see here like, okay, these ones are constantly running, but a lot of the stuff I'm doing is like this white background and text. There's some like meme ones here and AI ones, but not a ton of them. There's probably more I could do to differentiate and make something totally new. So it's a really good idea is to look at it from this view and see visually like, hey, what looks the same and how can I make something different? And then from there, taking it a step further, if you have video creatives, changing just the first 5 to 10 seconds is one of the easiest things you can do to improve your performance. Don't look at trying to make a brand new video. Don't reinvent the wheel. Take the thing that works and just change the first few seconds. Once you do that, then you can go and make a new video. And if you don't have a video and you want to make one from your static image, just take this thing. You can throw it in an AI software. You can even just try to take the essence of this and turn it into a video. So what I would do is you could literally just have a voiceover that says this one ad generated over $40,000 in 1 week. You could have the blurred image just like this picture. And then you could say, click below. I'm going to show you exactly what that ad is and how you can leverage it as well. That's it. It can literally be as simple as that, as just taking your winner static image, turning it into a video ad just by modeling it frame by frame as if you were making a video, and going from there. Now, these are all super easy ways to actually optimize your Facebook ads performance. And a lot of people miss the first thing that I mentioned, which is just looking at the metrics. It takes a little bit of time to kind of get used to thinking this way. And I'm just going to actually filter. Let me find one that spent a decent amount of money. So let me actually just hone in on this one ad here. So for example, I've got this one ad, and I would just go line by line, just exactly how I'm doing it right here. So first things first, your CPMs. Your CPMs really have to do with what you're saying in the ad and the core messaging of everything and the audience that you're targeting. If this is expensive, if this is over the KPI that I'm setting in here, so if it's more than $30, you need to look at, am I saying something in my ad that is a big outrageous claim that is going after people's personal attributes, which Facebook does not like, or is it saying something that's just kind of outrageous? If that's the case, and I know that kind of goes against copywriting, but there's a way to tone it down and have a good balance, it could be worthwhile looking at changing that. The other piece is, okay, in the audience that I'm targeting in here, is this something that isn't super unique, that's kind of generic, and a lot of people could target this? In this case, I'd say, yeah, copywriting. Like, we could definitely make this better. After you look at that, then you could go to the next step, which is your cost per link click. This is actually telling you, hey, when someone sees the ad, how many of them, or the people that actually click on the link, the Learn More button to go to the page, what is that costing you? This is really going to tell you, hey, overall, how effective is your ad doing? And if this is higher, once again, it's looking at the ad as a whole, but this may not give you enough information, these two alone. And that's the point. Not one metric is going to give you the answer. You got to kind of stitch them together. And so far, we could see that maybe outrageous messaging or just ad or audience targeting that isn't super refined. The next piece here is the link click-through rate. This is going to tell you, hey, once people are reading your copy, seeing your creative, what's the amount of them that are clicking through? It's very closely related to this, and I usually look at the ad copy itself to see, hey, people see the ad, that's visually something is stopping them, or maybe one word, but something isn't getting them to click. How can I incentivize that click even more? This is actually pretty good. And then finally, click-through rate. This is how is the creative actually slowing the scroll. So what I would say based on all these numbers, the biggest issue is going to be the audience, potentially what I'm saying in the ad itself, and how well the creative is actually slowing the scroll. A 2% click-through rate isn't bad, but there's something that I can do in here to make this perform a lot better. And I don't know if I can kind of span these out. So you can see here, like this image is doing a pretty good job at slowing people down, but it's still quite expensive, so it's definitely an audience problem. And that's kind of how I look and analyze ads. Is I'd really recommend you to go line by line, column by column, and see like where is the specific bottleneck. In most cases, it's going to be in your creative. It's either going to be your creative or your copy. A lot of people like to fixate over audiences, and that stuff is cool, but consistent creative testing is the best way to go about this. So that's pretty much everything. A little bit of a in the trenches review on how to get your Facebook ads out of a rut and how to get them to start performing better. Now, shameless plug, I've got a community here where you can ask questions, I can review your ad account, and I can give you more feedback. There's tons of resources in here that are super valuable. I'd love to see you inside of it. You can join it below if you're interested. If not, all good. There's going to be plenty of free stuff here on my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next one.